In the heart of a forgotten city, shrouded in mist and shadow, stands the Blackstone Manor, a once grand hotel now falling into decay. Its once lavish halls are now hollow and quiet, holding whispers of its dark past. Guests rarely stay for long, driven away by the unsettling feeling that something watches from the shadows. But no story in the hotel is as infamous as that of room 206. For over 50 years, its door has remained locked, its windows sealed behind thick drapes. No staff will speak of what happened there, but all agree on one thing: the room is cursed. It began with strange occurrences, soft footsteps in an empty room, mirrors fogging up with words no one had written, and that peculiar scent of roses, always roses. Then came the disappearances, stories of guests who stayed in room 206 and were never seen again. So, the hotel locked the room and left it to rot. For decades it remained undisturbed, until one stormy night. Rain pounds against the windows of the hotel lobby as David, the night clerk, sits behind the front desk. It's a quiet shift, just like every other night. But at exactly midnight the front doors creak open. A cold wind rushes in, carrying the smell of rain and something else, something sweet and cloying like roses long past their prime. An elderly woman steps inside, her gray hair clinging to her face. She's frail, leaning on a cane, but there's something commanding about her presence. "Old woman, I need a room." David: "Of course, ma'am, we have plenty of rooms available." Old woman: "No, I want room 206. David's smile fades. His fingers hover over the keyboard. David: "I'm sorry, but that room isn't available. Perhaps I can—" Old woman: "Room 206, I was born there. And tonight, I must sleep there one last time." David feels a chill crawl down his spine. His instincts scream at him to refuse, but something in the woman's gaze holds him in place. Reluctantly, he retrieves the key. "David, if you need anything, just call the front desk." Old woman: "I won't need anything, but thank you." She turns and walks toward the elevator. Her footsteps echo unnaturally, each one louder than the last. The door to room 206 creaks open, revealing a space frozen in time. Dust clings to the faded wallpaper and the furniture is draped in white sheets. The air is thick and stale, carrying that same scent of roses. The old woman steps inside and closes the door behind her. She locks it with a click, breathing in deeply. Old woman: "Home." Her eyes sweep across the room, pausing at the wardrobe in the far corner. A faint smile tugs at her lips. Old woman: "It's been a long time." The wardrobe creaks, the door slowly swinging open, the temperature in the room plummets, frost forming on the window panes. A soft voice, childlike and familiar, whispers from the darkness. "Eli, you came back, just like you promised." Tears well in the woman's eyes. Old woman: "I promised, Eli, I promised I'd return." Margaret, that was her name, remembers the first time she met Eli. She was 8 years old, the daughter of the hotel's head housekeeper. Her mother had always warned her to stay away from room 206, calling it a dangerous place. But children are curious, and Margaret was no exception. One night, while her mother was busy cleaning the dining hall, Margaret sneaked into room 206. She found a little boy hiding in the wardrobe. His skin was pale, his eyes dark and hollow, but he smiled warmly. "Eli, I'm Eli. I've been waiting for someone to play with." Margaret didn't question how he got there or why he never seemed to leave the room. She returned every night, bringing him toys and sharing stories. Eli became her closest friend, but as time passed, strange things began to happen. Eli told her things no child should know, secrets about the hotel's past, stories about people who had disappeared. His laughter echoed oddly in the room, and his touch was always ice cold. One night he asked for her help. "Eli, I can leave if you help me. We just need to perform a ritual." Margaret, eager to help her friend, agreed. She lit candles around the room, repeating strange words Eli taught her. The air grew thick, shadows stretched unnaturally across the walls, and a deep rumbling sound came from beneath the floor. Then everything went dark. When she woke up, Eli was gone. No one believed her story, and her mother forbade her from ever mentioning room 206 again. Soon after, the room was sealed, left to rot. But the bond between her and Eli was never broken. Over the years he called to her in dreams, whispering her name in the dead of night. And now, at the end of her life, she has returned to fulfill her promise. In the present, Margaret stands in the center of the room, candles flickering around her. The shadows in the room stir and twist, growing darker with each passing second. Eli steps out of the wardrobe, unchanged from the day they met. His eyes are darker now, his smile wider. "Eli, you kept your promise. Now we can be together. Forever." The shadows wrap around Margaret, their touch cold and suffocating. She gasps, but there is no fear in her eyes, only peace. The room fills with darkness, the sound of the wind rising to a deafening roar. The candles flicker and die, then silence. The next morning David notices the door to room 206 slightly ajar. His pulse quickens as he steps inside. The room is spotless, no dust, no sign of the old woman. Only the faint scent of roses lingers in the air. On the bed lies a single note written in elegant handwriting. "Thank you for letting me come home. I'm with Eli now. Forever." David stares at the note, his hands trembling. He quickly backs out of the room and locks the door. From that day on, room 206 remains locked once more, its secrets buried in shadows. But late at night, when the hotel is quiet, some say they can still hear the sound of a child's laughter, and the faint, haunting scent of roses drifting through the halls.